I understand that everybody has problems, right? So what I want to do is I want to talk about the WBA lightweight champion, Gervonta Tank Davis, finding himself in hot water again. This dude is like 31 years old. He's a boxing superstar. And he was recently arrested in Miami Beach, right? On a battery charge. There's some allegations of a domestic dispute with his girlfriend, the mother of, I want to say 2 or 3 of his children, right? Now I'm hearing that it took place on Father's Day. I read a police report online and they basically said that Gervonta Tank Davis arrived at his girlfriend's crib around, I guess, like 5 p.m. or whatever, right? To pick up his children. And I guess some type of argument pursued, and then it escalated into a horrible situation. Now, the ex-girlfriend told the police, his ex-girlfriend now told the police that Tank Davis was agitated over personal matters and was talking about insecurities and, and was talking about, I guess, the sexuality of his son. Crazy allegations, right? So then what I read online is that once the children were placed in Gervonta Tank Davis's car, things turned really crazy. He struck her on the back of the head with a closed fist and then slapped her across the face during this altercation. Now, of course, Gervonta Tank Davis, he was remanded to custody, and then, the whole situation is consistently escalating between Tank Davis and the lady. He was revving his engine and, doing all kind of threatening things and menacing things. I heard that she went to the hospital and, received a small amount of care from getting, slapped in the face, right? Now, what was crazy, though, is the consistent pattern of physical altercations, undocumented physical altercations in the past between Gervonta Tank Davis and his ex-girlfriend, right? So then Tank, of course, like I said, he got arrested. He got transferred to different, compounds or whatever. He was in, what did they say? Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. They eventually set a bond. He bonded out, right? Now, I found this in, I think, Miami-Dade County records or whatever, right? Now, what's crazy about this situation is this is not Tank Davis's first encounter with the law in reference to domestic violence. There are so many different allegations of Tank having these types of situations and running into multiple legal issues from these DV incidents and, traffic violations and stuff like that. The most popular one is December of 2022 when he was arrested for allegedly striking a woman with a closed hand type slap. Now, those charges were eventually dropped, but the arrest that he's currently going through is putting his boxing career into a situation where it looks like a gigantic question mark. Now, he's supposed to be fighting Lamont Roach Jr. in August of 2025. Now, if you don't know, Gervonta Tank Davis got a majority draw decision in March of 2025. But one of the things that I noticed is that the PBC, or Premier Boxing Champions, they have not officially announced who Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting next. It's just up in the air. this story is consistently developing. Now I'm online, of course, and a lot of individuals who are fans of Tank Davis and even some of the critics of Tank Davis are wondering what in the world is going on in the mind of Gervonta Tank Davis. Is he gonna be able to overcome these legal troubles that he's in? His career is always hitting some type of barrier where it's a question mark. This situation is overshadowing the talent of Gervonta Tank Davis. He is gigantic in this sport of boxing. One of the things that I notice about fighters who are, man, I can't say anything besides what I'm about to say. I'm trying to think of how to say it. Fighters who are black, when they are going through domestic disputes, when they are going through anything, it seems as if there's an extra spotlight on them. Now, I don't know what the future holds for Gervonta Tank Davis. But what I do know is this guy is in a toxic relationship. He is consistently in a toxic relationship. And he can't create the solution. He can't find a solution for this toxic relationship that he's in. If you are in a situation, if you are in a space where you have to resort to violence when you are talking to the person that you're talking to, or if you feel like you need to resort to violence, that's a situation that you don't need to be in. Now, some people are like, but I got children. I can't just leave my children. Hey, man, if you have to put yourself in a space where you have to resort to violence instead of communication, because the communication is not working, so she not listening to you or you not listening to her, but something is happening where violence is the solution, then guess what? You gotta separate. In order for you to elevate, you gotta separate from the situation. Sometimes you gotta isolate from the situation. But whatever it is, you gotta get out of the space. Get out of that situation. Dude, you are a millionaire. Get out of the situation. You can have more children. Dude, set up a space where she's over there, you're over there, and dude, get away from the situation. You are gonna do nothing but destroy your life. You just got arrested. That means you're gonna have to hire lawyers. You already had a lawyer on retainer. So that means you spent more money. You're gonna spend more money when the lawyer has to go to court defending you. So guess what? This stuff will take you down a lane and get you broker faster than what you would normally be on. You are on the wrong path. Dude, I'm not understanding why or who is around Gervonta Tank Davis, because he is consistently making these bad decisions. It seems like he either does not have the proper guidance or he is not listening to the guidance that has been given to him. Whatever the situation is, this is all bad for Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I don't even know if he's going to fight Lamont Rose Jr. now. It's all in the air. Now, there are conspiracies on social media, but you know how those things work. They said Tank didn't want to fight Lamont Rose Jr. because Lamont Rose Jr. showed the world the Emperor's clothing. You don't know about that. What can I say? Split the seat.